Hi everyone, this is Chetan here. Welcome back again. Probably this will be the first video of my complete DSA series, which I'll be starting in my upcoming days. So today I have decided to explain the DSA problem numbered 169 and titled Majority Element. Before jumping into the explanation, let me read out the problem first. Given an array nums of size n, return the majority element. The majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 times. You may assume that the majority element always exists in the array. So by reading out the problem, it is quite evident that majority element always exists in the list or array. Majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 times. N refers to the number of elements an array is containing. So if array consists of 4 elements, then majority element is the element which occurs more than 2 times. Let us go through the first example where the array is consisting of 3 elements 3, 2, 3. So we can clearly say that 3 is the majority element because it is the most frequently occurred element. In the second example, 2 is the most frequently occurred element because 1 has occurred 3 times, 2 has occurred 4 times. Before starting with the implementation, let me trace out this problem. And one more important thing to say that I'll be teaching how to solve DSA problems using Python. And the reason why I have chosen Python is because it is the most versatile language as it provides wide range of modules, classes, and methods which are built in. So easy and medium problems could be solved effortlessly without having to write more number of lines of code, even when we are opting for optimized solution. So for demonstration, this is the array which I have created on my own. In order to understand how to find the majority element in this array, we will be learning about built-in modules, class, and the method. So for solving this problem, I'll be using a module called collections where I'll be importing a class called counter. And under counter, I'll be using most common method. I know it's very difficult to understand about these entities which I have written, but let me explain you in a simplified manner. Here, collection refers to the module and counter refers to the class, and counter class consists of most common as a method. Let me show what counter does. So basically, counter is used to work with lists and arrays. Counter returns the dictionary of keys and values, where keys refers to the unique elements of the array and its corresponding value refers to its occurrences or the number of occurrences. It looks like this. So first uniquely identified element is 0 and it has occurred once. So the value will be 1. And the second uniquely identified element is 1 and the number of occurrences is 3, and the third uniquely identified element is 5 and it has occurred only once. So this would be the result of counter. So counter returns the dictionary of keys and values where key refers to the unique elements of the list and value refers to the occurrences of that particular key element in the array. So 0 has occurred only once, 1 has occurred 3 times, so the value is 3. Now let us figure out how to use most common method. So we have got to know that how many times each element occurs in the list. Now it is really necessary for us to find the most frequently occurred element, that is 1, based on its occurrences. And that is the reason why we will be using most common method. So most common method, as the name says, it returns the list of elements in a decreasing order based on the occurrences. For example, here the most frequently occurred element is 1 as it has occurred 3 times. So 1 will be the first element in the list and the Second most frequently occurred element is 0 because 0 and 5 are tied up with 1. Since 0 is a first element to be discovered in the list, the second position will be occupied by 0 as a second most frequently occurred element, and the third one would be 5 with one occurrence. And the output would look like this: inside square bracket 1 comma 3 will be the first element, where 1 is a key and 3 is a occurrences, so it is the most frequently occurred element. And the next one would be 0, and the last one would be 5. So as you can see, it is organized in a decreasing order based on the occurrences. 1 is the most frequently occurred element, so it is in the first place. 0 with only one occurrence, second place. 5 with only one occurrence, third place. So let us implement in code. Firstly, I'll be importing counter class. So let me create a variable called count and use counter on nums. Let me print and see the result of counter. So this code is not accepted as I'm not using the return statement, and just to show what counter returns, I'll be running the code, and for sure it will be wrong. So if you come to this part, you can see how counter has resulted in a dictionary. So 3 is a key element and 2 is a occurrences, which is a value. So 3 has occurred two times, 2 has occurred only once in the first example. Let us use most common method, and again let me print and see the result without using the return statement. As you can see, it has written the array in a decreasing order based on the occurrences. 3 has occurred two times and 2 has occurred once. The real challenge lies here. We have got to know that the first sub element of the first element in the array is the most frequently occurred element, and we have to access this value in order to pass the test case by returning this element. For doing that, we'll be opening a square bracket, and I'll point out to the first element of the list. Let me run it. It has printed the first element. Here I want to access the first element, which is at the 0th index. So again, I'll be using the same strategy of pointing to the 0th index. Let me remove the print statement and use return instead. Let me run it. Yes, the two test cases have been passed. Let me submit it. Yes, 54 test cases have been passed. So with only 3 lines of code, 54 test cases have been passed, and this is how effective the built-in methods are in Python. Hopefully, you have liked the content which I have provided, and I'll be coming up with more interesting concepts in my upcoming videos. Until then, thank you so much.